Hey guys, my name is Victor Diaz. I think you guys all know that by now. And I'm doing my presentation a little bit differently today, as I might have just said. But my feasibility report is on Mercer Tennis getting new vans for their men's tennis team. And title of my feasibility report is Pimp My Ride. So the problem that I'm going to be addressing is that the men's tennis team vans have not been upgraded since 2001, and this causes several issues. The first one being environmental. These old vans don't get as many miles per gallon as newer versions do, which is very important on long road trips. The second issue I'm going to look at is safety. New reports have shown that 15-passenger vans are the most frequent vehicle in rollover accidents, and these newer models that I'm going to be looking at are said to prevent these rollover accidents. Another thing to look at when dealing with these older vans is price of repairs. Obviously, if you've ever owned a used car before, you know that these parts in these cars aren't meant to last forever. Eventually, they're going to go. And as the older models age, price of repairing the vans unfortunately continues to increase. So what are the alternatives? So in order to increase safety, become environmentally aware, cut back on fuel costs, and increase the comfort of the current vans, there are new models that serve as viable alternatives. First model van I'm going to look at is the 2011 Chevrolet Express 1500. The second one I'm going to look at is the 2011 Ford E150 XL, and the last one I'm going to look at is the 2011 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. The main criteria I used in evaluating these vans is 1. Fuel efficiency, 2. Safety, 3. Comfort, and 4. Price. Comparison of solutions and criteria. So the first criteria I used in this graph is comfort. The Chevrolet Express 1500 got a 9 in comfort. The Ford E150 XL also got a 9. However, the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter got a 10. And the reason for that is because the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter has a much bigger door, and entering and leaving the van, that makes it really easy. The Mercedes-Benz also has leather seats and reclinable seats, as to where the Ford and the Chevrolet don't have these luxuries. The Mercedes also has more cargo room than the other two vans. This helps with comfort because as tennis players, we're always carrying bags, hoppers of tennis balls, and a lot of other stuff. And by having the extra room, it allows us to relax and enjoy the trip. My next criteria is miles per gallon. The Chevrolet Express gets an average of 20 miles per gallon. The Ford E150 gets an average of 23 miles per gallon, and the Mercedes Sprinter gets an average of 20 miles per gallon also, like the Chevrolet Express. All of these ratings are highway miles per gallon, which is what we mostly travel on going to these schools that are really far away in our conference. The next criteria I'm looking at is safety. The Chevrolet Express received a 5-star crash rating from the NHTSA, which is the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The Ford E150 received a 3-star rating from the NHTSA. So I gave that a 7 out of 10 instead of the 5-star being a 10 out of 10. And the Mercedes-Benz also, as you can see, received a 5-star crash rating. The next criteria I looked at is price. The Chevy got a 9 out of 10 in price because it was the second cheapest. The Ford E150 got a 10 out of 10 because it was the cheapest, and the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, however, got an 8 because it was somewhere in the range of $37,000 to $40,000 as opposed to the other two, which were in the 20s, the high 20s. My next criteria is warranty. Both the Chevrolet and the Mercedes had 5-year, 100,000 mile warranty, as opposed to the Ford, which only had a 36-month or 36,000 mile warranty, whichever one came first also. My last criteria, which I decided to put in there, I didn't make it worth as much as the other ones. I only made this one worth 2. It's whether or not the van has OnStar. The Chevy had OnStar, however, the Ford and the Mercedes-Benz did not have OnStar. The reason I put OnStar on there is because our coach is always getting lost. And with OnStar, you can just click the button and say, take us to Campbell or take us to UNF, and it'll take us there. As you can see in the total column, when you add them all together, the Chevy got a 49 out of 52, the Ford got a 44 out of 52, and the Mercedes-Benz got a 45 out of 52. Which brings us to my last slide, the recommendation. So I recommend that Mercer University purchase a 2011 Chevrolet Express 1500 van for the men's tennis team. As we just saw, it scored best overall. It provides safety, fuel efficiency with high miles per gallon, comfort, reasonable price, and long-term, and it has the longest term warranty. It's also the only one that has OnStar, so hopefully we won't be getting lost anytime in the near future. So that resumes my presentation. Thanks for sitting through it, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask.